This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Phuket Live Radio.
Welcome to the program. Great to have your company today. We're going to go right around the region and look at some of the stories making news in the ASEAN region. Japan has made a decision to restart its nuclear reactors 4 years after the Fukushima disaster. We go to China to look at the disturbing trade in human organs, and a 91-year-old man arrested at Sydney Airport. Why was a 91-year-old man arrested at Sydney Airport? You'll find out here on the Phuket News Hour. We'll cross to the Phuket News Centre for the latest local and national news, and we'll catch up with the BBC with the world news. The Phuket News Hour brought to you by the Kids Club Phuket. Don't forget this Friday, the Jungle Disco Party starting at 5:30 at the Kids Club Phuket opposite Jung Salong. More news on the way. Stay tuned. This is the Phuket News Hour.
The news you need to know. This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw.
Looking at some of the stories making news around the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. The BBC is reporting that Malaysia says it is sending a team of experts to the Maldives now to investigate reports that the debris found from the missing flight M370 may have washed up there as well. We know about the discovery of the flaperon on Le Réunion Island off the coast of Africa. Well, now the Malaysian government sending their investigators to go to the Maldives to investigate further there. The Indonesian police have arrested 4 men for allegedly killing a Sumatran tiger and trying to sell its body parts, according to an official in the latest case of a critically endangered animal being targeted in Indonesia. And still in Indonesia, the Indonesian Navy plans to blow up 70 foreign ships, all alleged poacher ships, when the country celebrates its 70th year of Indonesian independence on August the 17th, according to the Indonesian Navy chief. The Bangkok Post is reporting that the Chinese government will buy 1 million tonnes of rice from Thailand. The Thai Commerce Minister has announced, easing pressure on a military government struggling to shift stockpiles of the grain accumulated under a previous farm subsidy program, according to Reuters. Still with the Bangkok Post, Cambodia has announced plans to build an expressway to be completed in 2020, linking the national capital Phnom Penh and Sihanouk Ville, finally replacing the 2-lane road that links the capital with the country's most popular beach resort. And if anyone has done that ride from Phnom Penh down to Kep or to Sihanouk Ville, you know how hairy that 2-lane road is. So to have an expressway constructed there is going to be fantastic. Going to Vietnam, the Secretary of State John Kerry's recent visit to Vietnam was made to celebrate the 20th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the former adversaries. While John Kerry's speech during his 3-day tour emphasised the need for Hanoi to improve its rights record to deepen bilateral ties, it's time Washington dispensed with vaulted rhetoric and predicted future economic and strategic engagement on the release of jailed journalists. And finally, NBC is reporting from the Philippines that US private Joseph Scott Pemberton, accused of killing Jennifer Lord, a Filipino transgender woman, near the former US naval base in the Philippines in 2014. Pemberton is accused of strangling and drowning Lord in a toilet after they checked into a hotel. That trial continues. That's just some of the stories making news in the ASEAN region here on the Phuket News Hour. Stay tuned for the latest local, national and international news here on Live 89.5, the Phuket News Hour, brought to you by the Kids Club Phuket.
Missed something? No problem. Listen to the Phuket News Hour any time of the day. Programs posted daily on the PhuketNews.com/radio and on our Facebook page, Phuket Live Radio.
Last week on the program, I spoke to you about an 83-year-old woman, Elizabeth Kummerfeld from New York City, a former philanthropic socialite who was arrested at Hong Kong airport, aged 83, for trafficking in drugs. She spent a year in jail. She's now back in the United States. Well, a story from Sydney, Australia. The arrest of a 91-year-old man allegedly carrying 4.5 kilograms of cocaine. He was arrested at Sydney Airport, and this has prompted the Australian Federal Police to issue a warning about Australians being duped into becoming drug mules. So Elizabeth Kummerfeld, 83 years old, this man, 91 years old. Dr. Victor Twartz, Twartz, is a retired oral surgeon. He was arrested at Sydney Airport after flying in from Delhi, India to Australia. As he was about to board his aircraft to return to Sydney, he was handed a bag that he was told contained gifts for a person in Australia. Now, in the bag was cocaine hidden in 27 packages of soap. Now, Twartz was charged with importing a commercial quantity of cocaine. He's had his bail conditions continued. He's going to reappear in a Sydney court on October the 6th. Now, Twartz's arrest is the latest in a string of arrests of older and vulnerable people who have fallen for scams which have seen them becoming unwitting drug mules. The Australian Federal Police has warned Australians of scams which can lead to people being duped by overseas drug syndicates into becoming drug couriers. Now, the Australian Federal Police Acting Assistant Commissioner Wayne Butchorn has told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation that claiming ignorance of drugs hidden inside your luggage does not automatically mean you will not face criminal charges. People can expect that they'll be charged if they knowingly bring drugs into Australia or are reckless or willfully blind to the fact that there could be narcotics concealed inside their luggage or items that they are carrying. This is a remarkable story that will continue when vulnerable people, or quite frankly, very silly people say, yes, of course, I'll carry that item on the aircraft for you and take it to Australia or to Hong Kong. This is ridiculous. You are told, do not, under any circumstances, carry anything for anyone unless you are completely and fully aware of what it is that you are carrying. We'll keep following that story. But 83-year-old Elizabeth Kummerfeld, reputedly the oldest drug courier in the world, not now, Dr. Twartz, 91 years old, retired oral surgeon from Sydney. We'll keep following that story. This is the Phuket News Hour.
Your daily news fix, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Only on Live 89.5.
The Kids Club Phuket are proud sponsors of the Phuket News Hour, and this Friday, the Jungle Disco Party at the Kids Club Phuket, directly opposite Jung Salong Shopping Centre. Jungle Fever hits the Kids Club this Friday evening. Get your party gear on and dance the night away. Come dressed as Tarzan or Jane, or perhaps a monkey or tiger. Be early to get your face painted in your very own animal or jungle camouflage theme. It all kicks off at 5:30 with face painting and games. You can get all the kids on the dance floor and do a dance warm-up. Best costume competition, jungle game, dance like an animal, congratulations and prizes, and free dancing. All happening from 5:30 at the Kids Club Phuket. Want to know more? Go to facebook.com, the Kids Club Phuket. Proud sponsors of the Phuket News Hour. The Jungle Disco this Friday night from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Kids Club Phuket.
The stuff you need to know. 60 minutes of news on the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw.
Moving to Japan. Japan is restarting its first nuclear power plant since the Fukushima disaster. Now, under new safety rules, since the 2011 Fukushima disaster, all Japan's nuclear plants were gradually shut down after a series of meltdowns at the Fukushima plant. But after passing stringent new safety tests, Kyushu Electric Power restarted the number one reactor at its Sendai plant on Tuesday morning. Now, Japan power operators have applied to restart 25 reactors despite strong public opposition. Now, the disaster at the Fukushima Daiichi plant was triggered by a massive earthquake and then the subsequent tsunami. Kyushu said that reactor number one at Sendai began operating at 10:30 a.m. local time. The number one reactor is expected to start generating power by Friday and reach full capacity sometime next month. Now, the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said on Monday that the government wanted to press ahead with restarting reactors after they had passed, quote, the world's toughest safety screening. And the Japanese Prime Minister said, I would like Kyushu Electric to put safety first and take utmost precautions for the restart. Now, the government has said that Japan needs nuclear power to cut huge energy import bills and to cut Japan's growing CO2 emissions. According to the BBC, Tokyo says that more than $100 million has been spent on fitting new safety systems at the Sendai plant. However, experts have warned that reactors left idle for years tend to experience teething problems, and they say a mass restart of dormant nuclear reactors has never been attempted before. Japan's Nuclear Regulatory Authority approved 2 reactors at the Sendai plant last September under strict safety rules, and the second reactor is due to restart in October. And despite the government's plans, there is strong public resistance to restarting nuclear power plants, and protests were staged outside the Sendai plant on Monday and Tuesday. That report from the BBC about the restarting of nuclear reactors subsequent to the 4-year-ago Fukushima meltdown, which saw extraordinary damage to the environment. We'll keep following that story from Japan. That report from the BBC.
Today's important stories and the island's best music. This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw.
A disturbing report from the BBC that a shortage of organ donors has created a lucrative black market in China. Our BBC investigation has found now this shortfall is a consequence of China ending the practice of harvesting the organs of executed prisoners. Martin Patience from the BBC with this report.
It's a choice no mother should ever have to make, deciding which of her sons might live or die. Both were suffering from kidney failure, but only one of them could receive their mother's organ. I don't know why both my sons are ill, she says. But in the end, the decision was taken for her.
I decided my brother should get the kidney. He's still young and has a better chance of recovery. Everyone has the urge to live. I hope I'll get a kidney soon.
China has a huge organ shortage. It once harvested the organs of executed prisoners. Now Beijing says it will only accept public donations. But the Chinese believe the body should be buried intact, and with less than 1 donation per million people, its donor rates are among the lowest in the world. The patients at this hospital can count themselves lucky. They're among the rare few in China to receive a life-saving transplant. For everyone here, there are thousands of others waiting for an organ, and that huge demand has created a thriving black market. And these are the scars of the trade. Deeply in debt, this 21-year-old says he sold his kidney for £4,000. He doesn't want his identity revealed, but he describes the dark, secretive world where the traffickers operate.
I was blindfolded and driven to a small farmhouse. Inside, there was a full surgical theatre. The woman receiving my kidney was also there. I was scared, but the doctors put me to sleep. I woke up and my kidney was gone. The buyer wanted life, and I wanted money.
That report from Martin Patience in the national capital of China. Extraordinary that what we have around the world is the commodification of body parts, and the fact that people like that young 21-year-old can sell his kidney for £4,000 in this emerging economies of Asia is everything for sale. A remarkable report. Martin Patience from the BBC. More news on the way.
Missed something? No problem. Listen to the Phuket News Hour any time of the day. Programs posted daily on the PhuketNews.com/radio and on our Facebook page, Phuket Live Radio.
That is the program for today. If you'd like to catch the podcast highlights, go to PhuketLiveRadio.com or check out Facebook.com, The Phuket News and Phuket Live Radio. This program produced and presented by Tim Shaw using the resources of the BBC, Voice of America, Al Jazeera and CNN. Don't forget too, the Phuket News Centre will bring you the latest local and national news, and the BBC with the world headlines on the hour. Have a great remainder of the day. Look forward to your company again when you join us here on the Phuket News Hour, proudly brought to you by the Kids Club Phuket. Don't forget too, the big jungle disco this Friday at the Kids Club Phuket, opposite Jung Salong, starting at 5:30. Have a great day. Talk soon. Bye.
This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Phuket Live Radio.